Good afternoon. Thank you so much for coming here. We appreciate it. I think a lot of front seats are empty for whatever reasons. We're sure we're going to have that filled in. So, welcome to the first partner meet that we are doing. We're about 70 odd partners. We have half the partner pool here today. And we're thankful that you guys could make it. And a couple of them are on their way. So, let's start by understanding a couple of quick things. Number one. Okay, I'm going to speak as per timing. I'm running 10 minutes late, but I will end in 20 minutes. So as a team, we are going to ensure that we speak for the times that we are allocated, so we are able to get this whole thing done. We are recording this session. This is going to go live. This is going to go on the internet. This is going to go on YouTube. So say things which you feel comfortable saying, and don't regret later. So, but honestly, I think this is all our part of the PR activity that we have started and which we will keep growing, right? So with that, I wanted to kind of give you an overview of this, and most of you know this. The domain experts, we should learn this from you. But honestly, why the fiber to fashion textile supply chain? Why? And the why was very obvious for us. One, everybody knows the roti, kapda, makan. Whatever people say, that's always going to be, that industry is always going to exist. So kapda, why did we pick up kapda and not roti and makan? Because we have family tradition background in the kapda space. So I said, once we now have an opportunity and chance to build and work with family, if you're a Gujarati here, I think there are a couple of them, but Gujaratis, I've read something the other day back, most Gujaratis and Marwadis build on their, they really build on what their parents have done. And if their business has scaled up to this level in their parents' lifetime, they spend more time building on top of it and grow it exponentially. But most Maharashtrian entrepreneurs whom I know, if their father would have built something in their lifetime, you're going to start building that on your lifetime. So by the time your lifetime is done, you're only going to be where your father was. As best as what your father was, right? Typically, unless you're exceptional, you would do that. But build on top of. So finally we said, let's build on top of what we have to grow this exponentially. And that's why kapda was our real focus. We said, okay. So textile industry, obviously you guys know, but some of these facts really are something to know of. 14% of the industrial production is textile. 4% of the GDP is textile. 17% of our export earnings is textile. 35 million people are employed in this space. It is the second largest space after agriculture. So are we in the right space? 500% we are in the right space. 500%. What did we sense? Why? And who we are. So we sense that this is an unorganized market. The consultants would agree with me more than what, I would. Completely unorganized, but we saw an opportunity to get an organized, get organized to this unorganized market. Because, trust me when I say this, I've spoken to a couple of associations and all of that, and we've done our beta testing with the market. I spoke to a textile association the other day of India. Saraji is one of the committee members there. They never had heard about this. They were surprised that, okay, a pool of people or a company which would get together and get all these consultants and people organized and provide a service to the community. And that's what we're trying to do. So we position ourselves as first of the kind strategic textile hospital. Why do we call ourselves the hospital? We say any problem, any situation that a company has in the supply chain, we can address. We can address and we can cure them. We are a business concierge for organizations in the fiber to fashion space. We are a one-stop shop. So when we go to a customer, we want to be a one-stop shop. The customer might have one pain point, but having addressed that pain point with the relevant partner mapping, we will then go and upsell, cross-sell, build relationships and move every other service there to get him the comfort of being able to look at us as a one-point solution provider, right? So we call ourselves like, since this is probably going to go pan-India, we are like the Fortis. I would have otherwise used Jupiter Hospital, but we are like the Fortis Hospital. We have every single kind of surgeon on board. We have the cardiac surgeon, we have the oncologist, we have the physiotherapist, we have almost everybody. What does the patient do? He gets cured by not Fortis, he gets cured by the doctor, right? But Fortis still runs the whole thing. Fortis builds the brand, Fortis gets the customer, Fortis manages the relationship and ensures that, we get the right cases there. That's what we would do as a strategic textile hospital. Along with our 70 plus strong and growing partner ecosystem, we are 70 plus right now. And I'll tell you 4 months of work to get this in place. This is our phase 1. We will grow exponentially beyond this, we are very sure. But 70 partners and about 150 clients already existing with these 70 partners. What do we do next is where this whole thing is. Having said this, why do we exist really? I mean, we don't exist really to say, okay, I would like to make the next 100 crores. That's not why we exist. Of course we want to do that. But real reason, if you say we want to really empower the textile community, genuinely want to do this. Number two, we want to build trust and bonding and build long-term relationships with clients in the supply chain. Number three, our action should create values for our employees, for our clients, partners, and investors. We actually have a couple of investors with us. You know, as I said, we were a startup. We still have a couple of investors. 2.5% of the company equity is already gone, and we have one investor. I don't know where he is. Is he there? Or he's just scared and he's left. Is Milind there? Oh, Milind is outside. He's really wondering. Okay, he's outside, but you know, he's one of the first investors who invested in the company. And you know, but that was good. He's a good friend. But we have some investors. We want to deliver value for each other. But the last and what drives us, our mission, and I think this is one thing where I really sincerely believe in my heart. Our mission is to be involved in the growth and development of the Indian textile industry and have a direct bearing on the improvement of the economy of the nation. We would like to operate this business with that philosophy, and that's what I operate on. Okay, I started this venture saying, okay, maybe I want a 4-year exit. I don't want a 4-year exit. I've just started. The point is to really make an impact. Could this be, it's not just revenue, but could we really impact in the next 4 to 10 years, create a massive impact on the community, and in the process, obviously make an impact on the economy. And that's the philosophy on which we want to operate this entire business. What's our big, hairy, audacious goal? We don't have a date on it, but that's the big, hairy, audacious goal. As Jim Collins says, you know, if you've read Good to Great, the HR guys have surely read it. But he talks about the big, hairy, audacious goal, something right here. We want to empower 2 lakh centric businesses in India, and we will have a franchise distributor driven model as well as we grow, and 25 franchises across India, and empower 5,000 textile centric businesses across the world in 25 countries. That's what we want to do. How, when, we don't have a date. We have a how, we don't have a date for this hairy audacious goal. We have a goal for this year and we'll build on top of it. But this is what is our big, hairy, audacious goal. Well, everybody says this. You know, which company wouldn't say that? But we also say this. You know, foundation is still the trust. I mean, we want to build trust with partners in every action we do, everything we do. These are our 5 values that we want to stand by and operate. We don't need a client, we don't need a partner, we don't need an employee. You cannot actually sit by us on all of these values. That's our philosophy. I'm not going to even talk about it, but we already have our client service standards. I'm going to probably, if you can read some of it, that's fine. But we really, you know, we believe that these are the standards by which we want to operate for our clients. These are the standards by which we would want our partners to operate with when they deal with our clients. And we want them to be aligned with this. Okay, do I have some time? Yeah, I have 12 more minutes. So he times me, but these are our standards by which we would like to do something. I don't know. Last, but I really think we would like to live by our motto of service to the textile community. That's the motto on which we want to live by. You say, some people looked at us and said, oh, you're too unfocused. You know what? We are super focused, laser focused. Our business model is driven by the fact that we are working across the divisions that you have mentioned there. We will build on each of them. We will build essentially a 40, 50 people partner team on each of those divisions as we are growing. Our trading division, if you look at it, in the next 90 days, we'll have about 500 odd suppliers there that we're working with. We're already on the process of doing it. But 500 odd suppliers, everything from a diaper to a blanket, we will look at. And we will use technology extensively to drive it. How we do, I mean, that's the game. But you know, these are the multiple areas that we're looking at right now. A couple of them are dormant. Are we going to address each one of them today? The answer is of course not. We're not stupid. Okay? We are a startup, right? But we don't act like one. What do I mean by saying? We act like a startup, but we think globally. We think like a big organization. We think and we are focused that these are the areas that we would like to go ahead and make things happen. This is an important slide to look at. What's the business model finally? I mean, some of you, if you're new, you won't look at the model. It's a very simple, straightforward model. We have a triangle here. The hub and the ecosystem partners add value to customers in the textile supply chain. What does the hub do? All of those things mentioned there. We aggregate services together. That's what the hub does, number 1. Number 2, sales and marketing. Of course, that's our responsibility. Number 3, relationship management. We will manage the relationships with all the clients. Number 4, coordination of projects. Number 5, revenue management. Of course, we're doing it for revenue. We have got a different revenue model that we're building in right now. which probably will get into a royalty model for most of our partners over a period of time. But it's a revenue model that we're building. We are focused in terms of identifying the industry pain points with the domain experts and build specific solutions to address those points. We don't want to say we are an HR company and we have solutions. We don't want to say we are, whatever, an automation company and we have some we want to go with a specific solution to address a pain point. And that will come with domain expertise working with our partners. We would like to co-work with our partners on each of these solutions where, of course, revenue is taken care for. But solutions are built with our partners. We wouldn't want to go and do anything by ourselves. We'll build the brand. That's our focus. That's what we have just started. Over the next 12 months, we will be extensively spending time and effort doing this bit. And we want to obviously establish thought leadership. What do I mean by thought leadership? We want to be thought leaders in the space starting next year at least. We need to be invited for everything. Every single conference we go, we should be at least called for. We would like to do that along with our partners. We cannot be thought leaders by ourselves. We'll have a thought leader in each space who works with us and we're able to kind of have the platform and add value here. Ecosystem partners, what do we expect from partners? What would they do? Obviously, they would be delivering the service. Who would deliver? Who would actually deliver? If you want to build a website, who's going to do it? I'm not going to do it. You're going to have somebody out there who's going to do it. They're going to manage their projects. They're also going to support us to build specific solutions. Last but not the least, I'll talk about it very extensively. They'll be involved in co-building services and products with us. I'll tell you what I mean by that in a later slide. But partners there, it's important to understand. We don't have one kind of partner. We might have multiple partners to address multiple parts of the supply chain. We want to work with I would say, a merchant in Kalba Devi to Raymond's. We don't want to leave anybody. We will get opportunities to work with all. We do get that. So we have a player A kind of partner to address that segment. We have a partner B, partner C, and a partner D. So we might have 4 or 5 branding partners, each of them who was focused in being able to address one area. They could be able to address only maybe like a company like Amaze right now, which is growing. But his strength might come from being able to add value to companies under 5 crores. That probably would be his strength. But at the same time, Prasad, who I'm trying to partner with, Asgaonkar, his company would be companies who would, 200 people company would focus only on a Raymond's. That would be the focus there. So that's how we would have multiple partners even in each space, with everybody having an opportunity to do things. That's the idea. Last but not the least, of course there are value adds for the customer. We are the one-point service provider, obvious value. Second value that we offer is we build solutions and we build trust over a period of time that partners are comfortable to talk to us. I mean, customers are comfortable to talk to us saying, you know what, I have a problem, can you solve it for me? Then we do not want them to come to us and say, I am looking for an exhibition partner. We do not want them to say, I am looking for a water treatment solution. We want them to come and tell us, I have a problem, can you solve it? That's where we get in to solve. That's our focus. Partner-centric model. Obviously, partners are key to our success. We will not succeed in this without partners. Most organizations, everyone has an employee-centric model, but it's a little twisted model here. We have a partner-centric model. In next 3 years, we will be a 35 people company. But in the next 12 months, we will be a 1,000 partner company. The point is, we have 70 now. We will exponentially grow. We have a plan for it. But partners is what drives things for us. Our partner direct revenue for partners obviously is for services that you deliver. If you deliver a service, you're going to make your revenue out of that. But the second part of it is what we're talking about is the partner referral revenue. For every referral that happens to, we have a couple of deals that are already happening right now. Like we're working with Sharatji and we're working with Kamlesh. We have a water treatment need for one of his clients. We are facilitating that. We went and met. The deal gets done. Okay, the percentage that the hub has, a percentage goes back to the partner. And that's a royalty. We will drive this ongoing. We expect an 80-20 ratio. We believe. We believe that probably is going to be a success for this ecosystem. 80% directly on services that you deliver. That's not your net. The 20%, you might, whatever your profit margins out there are. He understands better, I don't, but Srirang here. But 20% is net. For a referral that comes through, that's net revenue. Like with Srirang, we're doing some things with, say, we talk about a client in Ichal Karanji, right? So if that happens and this gets through, we're talking about it. It's a net revenue for it. What did he really do? Of course he connected, he did the effort, but we drive the whole bit and make sure that happens. Set up, first 4 months, what did we do? Pain, we did a couple of things. First phase of partnerships done, our base collaterals are completed, and number 3, our client acquisition has been initiated. We have just started initiating the client acquisitions. Number 2, this is what our next 4-month plan is. September, October, November, December. 4 months that we have. This is our 4-month plan. Our second phase of partnerships will be done. Our tie-ups with associations, government bodies, trade bodies, educational institutions will be initiated. We are already talking. Number 3, which is the most important thing, 25 client deals need to be done in the next 4 months. That's our primary goal. It will happen through partner pool here, but we will do, the size of the deal really is not relevant at this point. We want 25 solid deals that will happen out of this. And we're already working on 7, 8, 10. I realize it right now. We have to get them to closure, but we're already working on them. What are we going to do? The textile hub, branding and PR work is going to be even more taken at the next step. We're going to come take your videos. We're going to have you, we're going to make it cheap, but we're going to make it effective. What does it mean? You might come and take your video on an iPhone, but we'll capture that thought, we'll make sure that is published, and we will drive that thing. Because each one of you has an area of expertise. We want to tap that, and that's our job. So you might want to speak about chemicals. I wouldn't be able to speak with your passion, but we'll come back with something, a framework which says, okay, talk for 5 minutes. And that's probably what will go viral. We'll make sure that that reaches out in multiple formats. Our blogs are going to be initiated. Partners need to give us the content. We have 70 partners. If you give us one content, one blog a month, we have 70 blogs to work with. And this is just the start. How tough is it to give a 200 worded article? And of course we will write our own, but we will build our thought leadership along these lines. That's what we're going to do. Exhibition and events, we're going to participate in an event already. One that is coming up right now is ViewTech. First one, Sharadji is organizing, he's the organizer for the event, but that's our first event. It's meant for viewers. We're going to participate. We're going to open it for all our partners saying, you tell us what you want, we have a stall, come join us. There's a deal for us. We will represent you, but you need to come up with a solution. But that event is happening now on the 21st of September. That's our first one. We have an opportunity doing a second one in Vapi, which I will run it by my partners. It is going to cost us 1 lakh rupees. Can we afford it? Heck no, we cannot afford it. We are a startup. I would say that. How will it happen if there are 70 partners and if partner says, I will pay you 1,500, why don't you go represent us? Sure. We're going to run this model like this. If partners say, no, we are fine, we will not. I mean, point is, when we have enough, we will go do it. But we believe this is a textile association. TAI is doing this exhibition in Vapi. That will be a second one. The one in March that we will do will be a big one. So at that point, we want to be ready. We want to have our ecosystem ready. We want to have a big stall. We want to make a big noise around that time. But that's it. We're launching our partner management portal. Everything we do on a day-to-day basis is going to get captured. Today we are 70, but when we go to 1,000, we need processes, systems in place to ensure that transactions are recorded and we're able to drive things together. So our partner management portal is coming up, where you can see new clients, you can talk about case studies, you can launch your collaterals. We will put a number of other things in there, inquiries. Example, I have an inquiry for Dinesh Mills. I spoke to the owner. Anybody can help, open right now. They are launching stores all over. They're going to get to the Raymond model right now. They want to launch their first 7 stores. They need help. They need help. That's it. That's the brief. That's the brief. I want to launch. So we know what we can do. We can build the stores for sure. We can build the strategy for sure, but we do not have someone who's actually done it before. Saying that we will do it versus have you done it. You are looking for that done it consultant who has actually gone and done and built stores at a distribution level for a company like of that size. So these are opportunities for you for us to reach out to you every day. Is going to be very, very tough. We will open it up in an open platform, and that's where the technology will be used extensively. We will get feeds on your mobile phone. We will map your need. We will know which division it is going to. All of that will happen. But that's going to be our process of 3 dedicated people who are actually working on it. 4 months we should have the product ready, out and running. 2 months we come up with a beta. The first version should be out in 2 months. The number of crazy things that we have done there. And I'm not sure if we have the time, but otherwise I would have shown this. But the last part though being is partner-specific collateral preparation. We want you to tell us to prepare collaterals. We want to work with you. You know your solution best. We will give you a framework, but we will need support from you to build the collateral. Once we have that base collateral, we will make sure the magic happens on that. We'll also need partner-specific sales plans. What's your goal? We'd like to hear that. We will cover a section towards the end where you probably would like to hear your goals. If you want to work with us, what kind of goals would you like to have? What kind of revenue would you like to make? Because that's the only way you can really track things. And third phase, I'll talk about this, is third phase would be the next 3 months, Jan, Feb, March. We want to complete we want to get the third phase of partnerships to be completed, tie-ups with associations to be done, We want 50 client deals happening that month, and I'm very, very sure we'll get in the next 3 months. On Jan, Feb, March. With momentum, we can get that. We will get 50 deals happening in 3 months out there is what we want. We will also do a couple of crazy things, which is, oh, see, he's belled me. Okay, I have 2 more minutes. We will finish the last part I want to talk about. We will start building our team. We will build the textile up. The team expansion will start only in the month of Jan. Can we expand now? Yes, of course we can. Do we want to expand? No. We want to make sure we do everything right and we have the right team on board to get going. So January is when we will start doing our expansion of teams as well. And this is the future. We will move from being a service-centric company to a product-centric company. Because finally our valuation, our company is going to be built based on what brands we have offered, not what services we do. For example, I provide a warehousing solution is a service. That's not good. And it's good, we'll make revenue, but we'll make in the next 4 years, our shift is going to be a 30-70 kind of a revenue. 70% of our revenue will come through products or services. What do I mean by products or services? I think it was Srirang here somewhere, but example, I'll tell you, we will co-build the products with our partners. The example I'm talking to is an investment banking partner, Srirang. They run a company called Aurea Capital. So we will build, right now we're talking about, we will build a TTH, as in the Textile Hub Equity Fund. That's a product. We will build a TTH, maybe debt fund. That's a product. So each of these would be things that we would launch a TTH incubator. We want to launch service. And where would you get all the help from? Right here. We have HR help here, we have finance help here, we have strategy help here. All that you need to really incubate companies is there a part of the incubator. I will be giving our partners an opportunity there to coexist with us and build solutions and have equity in setups that we do, because that's the best way for us to launch. That will happen, of course, 2 years down the line, but we're looking at TTH brands. We build our own brands. We are doing all the donkey work right now. We will sell, we will do all of that. But while we have the market, we will go backward and we will not get into manufacturing for very, very sure. But we will go and build all of this stuff. We might end up doing, I was just talking, we might end up doing TTH production system. We might build a water treatment system. He builds a water treatment system, but we will brand it as a product and take it to market only for the textile segment. That's what we mean when I say we will productize. And that's where our valuation as a company and value we deliver to the clients will come. And we will do it with every single partner when there is an opportunity that we see. With that, I am actually done.